All right, let's see. All right, look like I'm up. There go the notification. Let's see, the YouTube gonna come up. All right, look like I'm up on YouTube. And mic check. All right, I can hear myself. Somebody let me know in the chat room. Y'all can hear me. Give me a mic check. Let me know y'all can hear me. I just heard myself, so hopefully y'all can hear me as well. Thanks to everybody who's joining. This is a topic I've been touching on for the last few streams I've done. And I told y'all I was going to reach out to this man and get him. I'm going to get him. Now, some of y'all might not know who I'm talking about. So what I'm going to do right now is, while everybody coming in, what I'm going to do right now is get the likes up for your boy. What I'm going to do right now is give y'all a little introduction of who I'm finna get ready to talk to. So y'all remember this is one of the videos that I played, and let's just have a listen, all right? And thanks for everybody who's joining.
Cases were reported in California last year, and that's up nearly 14% from 2013. 23 ABC's Gracie Aguilar tells us how the numbers are looking here in Kern County.
I've never been so happy and so free in my whole entire life.
Angelica Lostenow began selling herself for money at the age of 12. It took a hit to rock bottom for Lostenow to realize that lifestyle had to stop.
I had a pimp who killed somebody, and I was the only witness to that murder.
She says he later threatened her to stop working on Union Avenue.
He was actually shooting at me, and I had to run for my life.
Wow.
It's women like Angelica who don't always know how to get out of their entrapment.
3 or 4, they didn't wake up today and think, I'm going to go sell myself. They were actually told, you're going to go out there, you're going to be out there for this much time, and you're not going to come in until you have this amount of money.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to play it up to that part. Y'all remember when I did the show, I said I want to reach out to this man, and I want to talk to him. Again, thankfully, one of y'all saw my stream and was in the comment section, and you told me that you know him, and you gave me the information to get in contact with him. And ladies and gentlemen, he is here with us today. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Doug Bennett. Did something wrong. Hold up. Did something wrong. That's what I want to do. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the man himself, Mr. Doug Bennett. Doug, how you doing today, man?
I'm awesome. How you doing?
I'm doing fine, man. Thank you so much for this time. I'm pretty much sure the audience, they appreciate you for making time for this as well, man. Doug, man, how can I start this off? You know, everybody upset about the missing Cowboys. Then during this time, you know, we're hearing about this. You know, they made a major bust with human trafficking. Man, it's getting crazy down there. So, man, talk to us. What's really going on down there, man?
Well, what you have is a crime against humanity.
Mm-hmm.
You have women being sold.
Mm-hmm.
Probably 8 out of 10 in this region are not out there by choice, but someone's profiting off of them. Mm-hmm. We see 750 to 1,000 different women being sold in Bakersfield over the course of a month, and that needs to stop.
Absolutely. Doug, how far has this gone? Because, you know, listening to some of the audience members going along with this, they say this been going on down there quite some time in Bakersfield. So, wow, how long are we talking about here?
Well, I started back in 2009 working anti-human trafficking, and we've seen the numbers increase probably 400%. It's probably about 250 women being sold over the course when we started, and now it's about 1,000. So,
man, golly.
It's the second fastest growing crime in the world.
Uh-huh.
The average age that a child enters into human trafficking is 11 to 13 years old, or 12 to 14 years old, depending on which statistic you look at. And Bakersfield is one of the stops on the I-5 corridor. So I-5, Interstate 5 on the West Coast runs from Canada to Mexico. Bakersfield is one of the cities that they bring the women in to sell them over the course of a few days, and they move them to another city.
Woo! hold on, messaging somebody real quick. Let's see. Okay, I think I got it. All right. Yeah, man, and you know, we're hearing ages from 12 and 14. For what I'm hearing, have you ever had a case where somebody even younger than that they fell into this trade?
Well, I mean, you know, the numbers are even lower overseas, but I talked to one girl who was about 30 years old, off of about a block off of the red light district here in town, and she had a girl that looked to be probably 11 that she was showing the ropes to. She still had her baby teeth in her mouth.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, wow. Wow. So, Doug, tell us what made you get into this, you know, the anti-human trafficking, you know, and I'm going to pull up an article and read to people this article that I found to you, because it look like you got some good credentials, man. And that made me very happy to bring you on the show. So what made you get into this?
Well, I'm a Christian, so the tenets of our faith are to share our faith, to go into the world, tell people about Jesus Christ. I'm a pastor. Went to 9 years of Bible college, got my doctorate, and figured if I was going to be doing this the rest of my life, I need to educate myself. Former meth addict, 17 years of methamphetamine. Used to do meth and go buy prostitutes in my teens and my 20s. I'm 52 years old in a couple of weeks. I've been completely serving Jesus with my whole heart since I've been 35. And
okay,
I told him, if you're real, show me you're real, and I'll go wherever you tell me to go, and I'll do whatever you tell me to do.
Wow.
He took me out to Union Avenue. He showed me the population that the church was driving past. And, you know, Chris, what I found is that when you say yes to Jesus and you serve him with your whole heart, he'll take you out of the situation you were in and put you right back into that situation, not to have the situation affect you, but for you to affect the situation for the kingdom of God. And that's what he's done with my life. I know what my calling is on this earth. I know the population that he's called me to, and it is my life's mission to see human trafficking end in my lifetime.
You know, that's pretty awesome, man. You know, because I had an audience member, they had text me, they like, Chris, and they were just, I guess they were just, you know what I'm saying, kind of looking at you like, you know, Chris, he sounded like he probably is somebody that may have dipped and dabbed in this, and you just pretty much just pointed out there. So you can speak on this because you was out there participating in this at one point in time. You just said you were doing drugs and everything, and you to change your life around, man. How can you not respect that? So salute to you, man. Salute to you on that. Salute to you.
Right on.
Yeah,
I got eyes to see, man. I can see a guy buying. I can see someone selling a girl, and I can spot a prostitute from a mile away. It's easy.
Right. It kind of like that down here in Memphis too. You could kind of pretty much see what is what down here. You know, I mean, it's obvious. You know, just something that you can't hide. It's just obvious what's going on. So again, man, salute to you, man. I always respect anybody who was going down the rabbit hole, was able to find that light to say, hey, I need to change. And, you know, that's why I tell people, you know, just because you fall don't mean you can't get back up. Everybody can change. But you got to
it's not how you start, it's how you finish.
Exactly. You got to have the mind and the willpower to do so, to change. And I say that to anybody. Ladies and gentlemen, I have Dr. Doug Bennett on the show with me. The guy y'all seen when I was doing the human trafficking up in Bakersfield. I told you I want to speak to him, and thank you. He is here today, giving us some time and speaking on what's going on down here. But in the meantime, Doug, what I'm going to do is, like I said, I found this article about you. I want to let people see things that you have been doing, and you have been making some major effects. I guess you had a podcast, and what I found is like episode 49, and it says what happens on Union Avenue. So I'm assuming Union Avenue is the street or one of the streets where this goes on at?
Yeah, that's the track. That's the red light district in our city.
Okay, gotcha. And it says right here, guys, that I guess this week is Doug Bennett, who is the creator of Magdalene, Hope, an organization with a mission to fight and end sex trafficking. In 2016, Doug was awarded the Individual Humanitarian Award by the Bakersfield Chamber of Commerce. Congratulations, man. One day, Doug went to church, and the speaker called Doug out of the audience and said, "You are going to be a pastor for bikers, prostitutes, and drug dealers." Doug thought that the guy was completely crazy. Almost 11 years later, Doug is doing just that. Wow, Doug, man, salute to you, bro. So when he called you out, man, I know sometimes that's a weird feeling, but how was it like when he called you out and said, "Hey, I see you doing this, and you never thought you would be doing this, but here you are doing it." What was it like, man? Because I think like that too, like I'm doing now. I didn't think I'd be doing this, but inspiration got me to doing it.
Man, it's crazy. I went to this church, these people invited me to, and I knew that they worked in these gifts of like praying for people and they fall out in the spirit. And we didn't do that at my church I was at. And I met the guy, he invited me back the next night. I went home, prayed about it. And before I went down there, I said, Lord, I'd really like to know if that falling down thing is real. And if that is, I'd like to experience that. So I go to this church on a Friday night. And walk in the door, the worship music's playing. I asked God for a word, and I opened up my Bible, and it said, he who sows sparingly also reaps sparingly, and he who sows abundantly also reaps abundantly. And I thought, man, I want to reap abundantly. I'd made $250 that day. I was going to throw $25 in the offering when the bucket came around. And I said, God, how much do you want? I heard 50. So offering comes around, I'm throwing $50. I didn't have money for my rent then. But I threw $50 out of $250, and he's calling people out of the audience. They're getting healed. He's praying for them. They're falling down. About 40 minutes in, I said, Lord, I don't need to know if this is real or not. Clearly, this is real, and I don't need to experience it. If these people could just get blessed and get healed, I'm okay with that. And about 3 minutes later, he looked around the room. He said, there's this guy. He's got an out-of-the-box ministry, which was the name of my ministry at the time before I started doing Magdalene Hope. And he pointed me out, called me up to the front. He said, I met you last night. I went back to my hotel room. I couldn't stop thinking about you. I started praying, and God started showing me some things about you. He said he showed me that you'd be a pastor to prostitutes, bikers, and drug dealers. And if you stay low and you stay humble, God's going to use you in a mighty way. He also said he saw me as the next David Wilkerson, which is the founder of Teen Challenge. And he's telling me all this stuff, and I'm thinking, this guy's crazy. And he said, and he also showed me, God showed me that after today, you'd never be the same. And he held out his hand about 2 feet from me, but it was like he was pushing me in the chest, and I had to take a step back. And then he said, after today, you'll never be the same. And I had to take another step back. It took about 7 steps back as he pushed me with his hand, which wasn't touching me. It was about 2 feet off of me. Mm-hmm. And I kept thinking, don't get pushed down in my head. Mm-hmm. And he turned his back to me and he said, after today, you'll never be the same. And he threw his hand behind him and my whole body lifted off the ground. These guys caught me and laid me on the ground, and the power of God was on me. I was magnetized to the floor and I couldn't move. I never felt nothing like that in my life, Chris. And I'm laying there looking at the rafters of this church on the ground, magnetized to the floor. And then I heard him say, I feel like the Lord is telling me, if you want to sow into this man's ministry, get up out of your seat and throw money at this man's feet. And I just started to weep as probably 150 people walked by me throwing money at my feet. 20s, 50s, 10s, 5s, checks.
Wow. Wow.
And I laid there and wept. And after about 5 minutes, I was able to sit up. I looked, there's money all around my feet as I'm sitting on the floor. And I looked at him and he goes, pick up your money and take your seat. Went back and grabbed all the money, stuck it in my pockets, went back to my seat. And he was still talking, but he sounded like the teacher from Peanuts cartoon. Mm-hmm. I couldn't understand him. All I could think of was how much money's in my pockets because I didn't have my rent.
Right.
So I got out of my seat to go in the bathroom, count the money, $729.
Get out of here. Wow, really?
It was almost double what I needed for my rent. And went and tithed. Left the church, didn't think anything about it, kept doing out-of-the-box ministry, kept serving him with my whole heart. And about 10 months later, a buddy of mine invited me down to Los Angeles. A gal by the name of Heidi Baker was speaking down there. And she pulled me out of the audience, told me God already told me what to do, go do it. And a month later, we launched Magdalene Hope, April 25th, 2009. And I've been doing it ever since. It's been a crazy ride, man.
Wow, man. Dude, much love to you. And then, Doug, the thing is, me, as far as church goes, I tried to get into it when I was a child. And I don't know. I guess it was just something that just went in me, and I think it was more so my mom was trying to force it on me. So when I got old enough to be like to make my own decisions, um, I just didn't care too much for it. And don't get me wrong, when I was grown, I did try to get myself in it, and try to see can I feel what other people feel. But as of right now, me being 40 years old, it's just something that I just don't still feeling it right now, but to hear stories like yours and probably other people who is in chat room that probably been through something similar that you'd have been through, I know it can happen. It can happen. But for some reason, my mind is not at that place yet, but it'll probably get there one day. It'll probably get there one day. It'll get there one day. But wow, man, see, you got a blessing, and now you turn around being a blessing to people who are in trouble.
Man, I got a book coming out later this year. It's called God Stories from Reprobate to Redeemed. And it's my story of buying prostitutes and then God revealing himself to me, and then all the miracles, well, not all of them, but probably about 30 of them that I've written in a book. Legs growing, praying for people. They're blind, they could see. Man, all that stuff's happened to me. And literally, the book of Acts, I've seen miracle. And it's been awesome to roll on this journey with him. I used to get high on meth and weed and acid, everything, crack cocaine. And even I even had a prostitute put heroin in my arm when I was 20 years old.
Oh, wow. Wow.
I'm using her rig. And they say there's no high like getting high on the Most High. And when you come into that knowledge of who God is, the first girl I ever talked to, Chris, was out on Union Avenue, 2009, April 25th. And she was walking by me. Back then, we didn't give them backpacks. We give them backpacks now. We give them backpacks with everything that a girl could need over the course of a month of being sold. But at this time, God had told me when we went out there to pay them money. And I said, pay them money. I even called the police department, and the lady answered the phone. I said, can I pay a prostitute to talk to her? And there was a long pause. And the gal said, well, it's not against the law to pay someone to talk to them. I said, okay. So we went out there. We started paying them money, $20, $40. The first girl I talked to, I said, do you have a moment? She kind of looked around. She goes, I'm a little busy. I said, well, can I buy your time? She goes, how much? I said, how about $30? What did that give me? She goes, probably 5 minutes. So I gave her $30. She said, what's the catch? I said, the catch is there's a Father in heaven who loves you, and he has a purpose for your life. And she said, well, I find that hard to believe. I said, what, that there's a Father in heaven, or that he has a purpose and a plan for your life? And she said, both. And so I prayed instantly. I said, Lord, what do I say to her? And I felt like he told me to tell her. I said, it's probably around midnight that night. I said, I can look up in the sky and see the moon and the stars. And the fact that you and I are having a meaningful conversation, you can understand me and I can understand you, tells me beyond a shadow of a doubt that there is a God. And she goes, all right, I'll give you that. She goes, but I still have a problem believing that he has a purpose and a plan for my life. And I said, why is that? She said, well, I'm an educated woman. I had a corporate job and I didn't make enough money. And I came out here. She said, listen, I can speak 4 different languages and cuss in 7. And I laughed. I said, that's funny. She said, but the fact that he has a purpose and a plan for my life, I have a hard time believing. She said, 3 years ago, I started doing heroin. I've lost everything that is near and dear to me. And I said, well, what do you need? How can I serve you? What can I do for you? And she goes, what do you mean? I go, what do you need? She goes, I need $55 to cover my hotel room. I said, all right, I'll pay it. She goes, why would you do that? Why would you pay for my hotel room? And one of the girls on my team said, I feel like it's for hope. And her lips started to quiver and a tear ran down her face. And she said, do you know that that's the name of my 3-year-old daughter who I've never met? My 3-year-old granddaughter who I've never met. And
oh, man.
We went and paid for a room. We started doing Bible studies with her after about a month. Showed up at her hotel room with a friend of mine to do a Bible study. And she goes, hey, I've been looking for you. I go, what's up? And she goes, well, I wanted to tell you that I'm leaving tomorrow. I go, where are you going? She goes, I'm going back to Mexico to marry my fiance. And I just wanted to tell you, thank you for helping me believe again. And I knew right then we were on to something. So.
Now, I want people to understand this was a prostitute you was talking to.
Yeah.
You came and talked to her. She didn't believe what you were saying, because I understand, because she'd been in this rain for a minute. So anybody who come to her with positivity, she don't know how to take it. And she had all this going on, but saying the money wasn't right. You and a team member, y'all came, had Bible study with her. And then the next time y'all came and saw this woman who was living in a hotel and a prostitute, listen to your words. Y'all words were strong enough to change her mind to go back home and get married. How about that?
She quit the life.
How about that?
She didn't have a trafficker. She was a prostitute. And that was the first one we talked to, you know. I've had the honor and privilege of rescuing, we call it recovering or assisting 121 victims to freedom. So I go into a really bad situation when it's safest for myself and my team and her, and we get her out. We take her away from the bad guy and we give them back their life.
Man, you about to make me shed a tear over here, man, because, wow, you know, I guess I could take this as a moment to say that maybe God wanted me to talk to you, and somebody actually found my channel and was able to get me to get in contact with you and to have this discussion. Man, wow, no, bless you, Doug, bless you, man. But somebody had asked a question in the chat room, and I think it's somewhat a good question. They said, do you not fear the guys who had their human trafficking? I guess, you know, like what you say you just did with that particular lady. Was you not afraid that the pimp or whatnot was going to come in retaliation, talking about, hey, why you sitting up there talking to her? You know, this, that, third. You know, they want to know, was you ever scared of doing that?
Nah, I don't fear man. I got an angel. I asked God what his name was one time. He told me Stephen. Dude's about 9 feet tall. I've seen him once. Mm-hmm. He's huge. And I got an army. It's not who surrounds me. It's not who's coming at me. It's who surrounds me. And I got an army of angels around me, protecting me. And I have God empowering me. And for those viewers watching, and for the people that know, you know, when you're in prison and you're a man of God, people don't mess with you. And it's the same way on the street. If they know you're a man of God, you ain't going to get messed with. So I don't fear man. I know where I'm going if I die. And if I take a bullet for what I do, then so be it. I'd rather do that than die in a car wreck or die of old age. So
well, whoever asked that question, you just got your answer. And I want to give a shout out to Donna Clark. That's the one who came in my comment section. She's in the chat room right now. Donna, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for finding me and to listen to that stream. And you saw that I want to talk to Mr. Doug, and I asked you, could you get in contact with her? You said absolutely. Doug, within 2 to 5 minutes, she emailed me, said, Chris, I talked to him. Here's his information. I said, wow, that was fast. What did he say? She said, I told him, I watch your channel. I like your channel. He would like to talk to you. And she said, you like, hey, give my information. Called you Saturday. Here we are, Monday afternoon talking. Amen to that. Amen to that. So, when this bus,
just real quick, shout out to Donna. What's up, Donna Clark? Donna's been a friend of mine for 35 years. I know her boy with her son, so she's a good woman. Thanks for the shout out, Donna, and thanks for connecting us.
Yes, thank you, Donna. Thank you so much. And I can tell she's a good woman because she really wanted to see this. As a matter of fact, when I sent you the video yesterday, I let people know you was coming on the show. She came and say, oh, I'm glad I didn't miss. I guess she thought she missed it. She said, oh, I'm glad I didn't miss this. Yay. She said, I can't wait. And here she is right now. So thank you, Donna. Thank you so much. This is inspiring me, man, you know, to keep doing what I'm doing, because there's been a couple of times, Doug, I wanted to like stop this because, you know, it gets overwhelming trying to do this podcast, you know, talking about children, these children going missing, they dying, you know, it gets overwhelming. I was just telling some ladies that last night when I joined their panel, it gets overwhelming. But, man, I can sit here today and tell you, doing this interview with you, man, you didn't inspire me to keep on going, overwhelming or not, because the more people who speak on stuff like this, the more their awareness can stay out there, because this is real. It's real.
Hey, you're a voice for the voiceless, Chris. You know, you're putting stuff out there that people need to know about.
Right. And I really appreciate your time. So let me ask you this. When that bus went down in Bakersville. You know, what were you down there, and how many people in that bus was you able to talk to, like you did with anybody else? Was you able to get a hold of anybody that was in that drug bus, or everybody's in custody right now? They need to talk to them, or what's going on?
So this hotel's been a place of concern for us for a number of years, and I was contacted. I was in Mexico a couple of weeks ago for about a week. I co-lead a coalition to fight human trafficking in Baja, and that gets a little more sticky with the cartel and the mafia. So
okay.
And so I was down there for a training and to see all of our coalition partners. And while I was down there, I got a phone call from Homeland Security out of Sacramento. They had heard about our work and wanted to connect with us. And this hotel, I met with the FBI for about 2 months, talking to them about this hotel, about the trafficking going on there. They had me into their main office. And so we were just trying to bust this ring, talking with the mayor of Bakersfield, who's an awesome person and a friend of mine. She was really concerned about it as well. So when I got back from Mexico the night before this bus went down, it went down at 6 a.m. I turned off my phone, went to sleep, told my wife I'm going to take a few days off and take a vacation from my vacation. And I woke up, I had 16 text messages, a phone call from Homeland Security, asking us to come in, transport one of the girls out of there. That's the thing, Chris. I never transport by myself. I always take somebody with me, and it's always good to take a survivor. So I had a survivor that runs my women's shelter. I don't know if we covered that. I have a women's shelter.
No, we did, but yeah, talk about it. Talk about it if you don't mind. Yeah.
I got a shelter in Bakersfield. We do, Magdalene Hope. I'm the executive director of Restoration Ranch Women's Shelter. And we have a survivor that we assisted to freedom, and she's our director. And so when I transport out, somebody with me. So I told Homeland Security I need about an hour so I can grab her and we can come over there. And by that time, she had made arrangements to take a cab to the train station to get back home. Mm-hmm. And he called me back. He said, "Man, we're not going to have you transport her." And I was like, "Man, I really wanted to get into that hotel, to minister to those women." But, and I'd been there for years, I knew most of them by name. There's probably about 50 different women that were rotated through this hotel, but they recovered 15. But she got on the phone and thanked me for giving her a ride and for the work that we do. So that was awesome. And it was great to see this hotel busted. That manager, I never met the owner, but that manager, I had a couple of run-ins with. But one run-in that I'll share with you, if I will, was that okay?
Wait.
So I'm at this hotel, and we get out. I drive a big pink van. It's about the same color as that lunchbox over my back. Mm-hmm. And it's a 15-passenger pink van. We pull in one night, we get out, and when we go to the Desert Star, we take backpacks and we go door to door. We hand them a backpack. We pray for them, talk to them. Made many relationships over the years with those women. They know me as Pastor Doug, and they allow me to pray for them and talk to them. And, there's guys walk around with guns and stuff, but they don't mess with me because they have a fear of God. And one night, there's a drunk there, big boy, probably about 6'4", holding himself up on a post. He was drunk and throwing up, and some of the girls were around him. And the manager comes up to me and he goes, "Hey, man, can you help me get this guy out of here?" And I looked at the guy and I looked at him. I said, "I'm not here for that." He goes, "What are you here for?" I said, "Man, I'm here to minister to the women." He goes, "Seriously?" He goes, "You can't help me get this guy out of here?" I said, "I'm not here for that, bro." And he goes, "Really?" And I go, "All right, check it out." I said, "In Jesus' name, I command you to sober up and walk out." And the guy picks his head up, looks around, and walks off the property, right down. It was probably about 200 yards to get to Union. And then he just walked away. Sober up, walked away. And the manager looked at me and he goes, "Oh my God." He goes, "How'd you do that?" I said, "Man," I got a direct connection with him. I said, "Now, if it's all right with you, I'm going to get back to doing what I'm doing." He goes, "Man, you can do whatever you want here." And I never got messed with him again.
So Sound like the
That
fact that
might be hard to believe, but that's
no, but you know what?
True.
You know what? I think that's what a lot of us in the world, you know, when you stand your ground instead of letting people try to move you and do what they want you to do, you end up getting respect. So I can believe that. I actually can believe that. But somebody have a question for you. I don't know if you've been following the missing Cal City boys or Orrin and Orson West. They wanted to know, since you've been doing this or whatnot, I don't know how much you looked into the story, but do you think it's a possibility that those young men have been trafficked?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I have intel that would say no. So I don't believe the trafficked. Selling a 2 and 3 year old is really hard to do here. I don't know what happened to them. We're praying for them.
Right.
And it's a tragedy. But I don't believe it's trafficking myself.
Okay.
That's just my personal opinion.
Okay. Well, to the person who asked me that question, you got your answer. He don't think it's a trafficking situation because that's one of the things I thought too. I thought maybe they have been sold because ain't nobody found them yet. But this story is going deeper and deeper and deeper, just like what's going on down there in Bakersfield. This thing's going deep because I found a few videos before I wanted to get in contact with you about Bakersfield and the human trafficking. I think one of the girls that you heard that I played, I don't know if you talked to that particular lady, she said she actually witnessed her pimp kill somebody. She was a witness to it. And I guess he tried to tell her, you know, you're not going to work here anymore, and say he turned on her, tried to shoot and killed her as she's a survivor. So, you know, like I said, anybody who going through that, I can imagine the traumatization that goes on with it, you know, and it probably going to take a lot of counsel or even somebody to meet you, you know, maybe to help them, you know, get out that cage zone. Because I can just imagine anybody who's been trafficked, what they're going through. So, wow.
Yeah, hey, that gal in the video, she's awesome. She's a friend of mine. Mm-hmm. I assisted her out of trafficking back in 2013, and she was one of two of the first residents that we brought into Restoration Ranch. So she came through our 1-year program. She graduated. She graduated from Bible college. We have an online campus for a Bible college at our shelter, and she was our first graduate and our first graduate to graduate from Bible college. And then she went on to be our director for 1.5 years. So she's awesome. Her and her husband have a ministry, and they hand out burritos on the track on Union Avenue here in Bakersfield. And she's just doing great work. She's an awesome person.
Got you. So let me ask this, you know, your organization, is it considered a church organization, or this something that you just personally work on your own? And is it I guess nonprofit? Is it that, you know, how would you best describe it? You know, is it a church thing, or is it something that you personally started on your own?
Well, no, I founded this on my own, and then a few months after our first outreach, we became a 501c3 nonprofit faith-based organization. So I guess that would be the best way to describe it. Okay. So we do tax-deductible receipts. We're donor-based. So I think we've gotten 2 grants over 12 years. So we just go off of people giving us money to go and do what we do. We run our shelter off of donations. We do everything off of donations here.
All right.
Yeah, it's awesome.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I am here with Mr. Doug Bennett, CEO and founder of Magdalene Hope, and we are talking about the human trafficking that goes on in Bakersfield. And this man, for what we're hearing, has been a blessing to a lot of people who fell into that rain. So again, Doug, salute to you, bro. You got a lot of love in the chat room. You know, salute to you. They saying thank you for sharing, and I appreciate you too, man. So let me ask you this now. One of the things you said in the news article that you know, a lot of people who fall into this, they didn't want to get there, and I get that they probably didn't. And I was asking this question to somebody: how many of these people who fell into there was actually runaways? Was in on runaways, or they just somebody just got caught up in this and boom? And the reason I'm asking because I know here's the sense that I'm asking. like I said, with a lot of us when we was young, you know, we get to spending ourselves, and nobody can tell us nothing because we ready to get out in the world, but we don't know what we're really getting into when we get out in the world when we're young. So we got a lot of us that want money. We tired of asking mom for money, you know, and this, that, and the third. So when we hear stuff like this, we probably be like, okay, well, if the man talking right, this is some good money that I'm going to make. So he tell her or him what they want to hear, and boom, they'd bit off more than they can chew because they try to run out, try to make that fast money. So what percentage would you say are runaways that fell into this? And, you know, what you offer to get them out of that, you know, and bring them back home?
Well, it's hard to say. Runaways or foster care system. We know there's a lot of girls that come out of the foster care system that don't have parents. And I know you hit on this on one of your previous episodes that I watched earlier today.
Oh, well, how about that, guys? He watched one of my episodes.
Come on, man. I watched quite a few, man. I did my homework on you, homeboy.
Oh, you did? All right. That's what I'm talking about.
You know, who's this guy, Chris Thorns, man? I need to find out about this cat before we go on this show. You got a good heart. I like you.
I appreciate it, man.
So it's hard to say as far as runaways and foster care system, but man, when you're 14, 15, 13, 12, and you know hormones are kicking in, and you start going to school, maybe hanging out at the mall. Man, these guys are predators. You know, they'll come and find you at the mall. They'll hang out around the school and wait for you to walk home, approach you. You know, you got a 19, 20-year-old, you got a 17-year-old, you know, male showing you attention and telling you how pretty you are. Onto that. And so there's a turning out process. So he might start smoking weed with you. He might start dating you, but his whole thought process is to turn you out to start making money for you. So he might start you up on the weed, but then introduce you to some meth or some cocaine and get you hooked. So now he's providing the drugs for you. He's doing your nails, he's getting your hair done, he's showing you attention, which you've never had before. Now you're falling into this trap. And then he says, hey, you know what? This stuff doesn't, you know, it's not free. You know, and he's having sex with you. He's like, hey, you know, turn a trick here, do this.
Right.
That's what we call lover boy or Romeo trafficking. But then you also have guerrilla trafficking, which is just out of force and fear. Hey, if you leave me, I'm going to go get your baby sister.
Absolutely.
I'm going to put a hit out on your mom or your grandma. And they traffic them out of fear and force. Then, of course, you have family trafficking, where the older family member will sell a younger family member, usually an aunt or an uncle or even a parent like an Angelica's or in someone else's case, you know. So those are the three main forms of human trafficking that we see.
Okay, well, let me ask you this, because I know it's probably very rare, and it's probably a small percentage. If there is a percentage down there in Bakersfield, you know, what's the percentage of males falling into that trap where they being trafficked? You know, what's the percentage on that?
So those numbers are really jaded. They're kind of hard to figure out because a lot of times when a male's trafficked, there's so much shame and guilt and condemnation that comes with that from having sex with men that they don't.
Absolutely. That's the reason why.
So yeah, they keep it secret.
Okay. All right. That's why I asked, and I want people to understand that, you know, a lot of men go through pretty much some of the same things that women do, but unfortunately, I think women get it extra what they go through. You know, men, like you just said, you know, we be too embarrassed, and we got to keep up image, and you know, we don't want to talk about that because of what people going to think about us. So I'm glad you said that. But like I try to encourage people that I don't have a problem with nobody's sex life. Whatever you do is what you do, you know. But now you was forced into it. I guess that's something different. But I want people to understand, you know, people are going to talk about you when you're doing good, and they're going to talk about you when you're doing bad. There's probably somebody talking about me and you right now, but, you know, what can we do about it, you know? What can we do about it? So that's why I asked you that, and I'm glad you said that, man.
Hey, let them talk. Let them say.
So
you know, you're always going to have the trolls in the basement, you know.
Right.
Chat, you know, let them chat.
Right.
But yeah, there is, and I'm sure, you know, probably further up north, San Francisco area, I'm sure there's a lot more of human trafficking of males.
Absolutely. Well, let me ask you this. You said that, you know, like the young girls who don't have family members. So let me ask you this. the ones that don't have family and they get rescued with this, and I guess if you come in and speak or have a part in it, what are your steps to try to help them out? What do you do?
Well, I mean, the first thing we do is when we assist them to freedom, we take them to a domestic violence sexual assault shelter. So a shelter that will take them for the first 30 to 45 days, let them get off of drugs, let them catch their breath, and figure out what they want to do from here, from once they get out. And then we work with them on a daily basis. And if they want long-term care, then we'll bring them into our shelter. So our shelter is 1 year long. We have a Bible college, we have counseling, we have therapy specific towards human trafficking, so that we can help them on that process. That's what we call Restoration Ranch. It's a restorative process to get this woman's life back. And so in that time, we work with her in reuniting her with her family. Usually she doesn't have her children. Usually she's looked on by the family as a prostitute. And when they come to find out that she was a victim of human trafficking, she wasn't out there by choice. There's a lot of grace that's extended from the family. So we work in that. We work with getting them, an ability to earn, a college degree. And then we also work in a reintegration process. So each graduate that graduates from our shelter, we give them a car when they graduate. And
oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, a car is freedom. So the last graduate, we gave her a Toyota Prius. So being an organization that runs off of donations, people give us cars. And so we take those cars, we get them all fixed up, and then we give them as they graduate. And that way they have the ability to get around, to have their life back, to have a car, to have freedom, and to know who they are in Christ by having a new identity, by looking at men in a different light, God in a different light, themselves in a different light, and then also being reunited with their family. It's an awesome process, an awesome restoration process that we do. But I mean, some girls that, we get out, they might want to go back to their family. If their family's a safe place, they might want to go back to the city where they came from, because, probably 70% of the women that we talk to here in Bakersfield are not from Bakersfield. They're from another city.
Right.
95% of the women that we talk to are from the United States. So there's always this thought of, they're being brought in from other countries. That's not what we see here. We see they're from other parts of California or Nevada or Arizona, and they've been brought to Bakersfield to be sold. So once we get them out of here, then we reunite them and we work with them on what they want to do long term.
Oh, wow. Wow, do y'all hear this? Wow, this is amazing, man. This is amazing. Now, I had to ask you this. Now, I have to ask you this now. Some people relapse. They be out the gang, whatever drugs, anything, for a long time. But I do believe relapse, and a lot of people do have relapse. So after you have somebody out and they relapse, are they able to come to you for help again? Because I know some people, they say, hey, we can only help you so much, but if you keep going back doing this, we got to pretty much just wash our hands. So what do you do for somebody who relapse?
So for good numbers, once a girl gets out, she goes back to her trafficker 8 to 11 times. And that's sad. We, I think of the Israelites who were brought out of slavery from Egypt. And once they got free, they wanted to go back because their masters were providing food and shelter and water for them. And once they got free, they didn't have those things. So oftentimes you go back to what you know. So we've had women that have been with us that have left and that we brought back. It's a case-by-case basis, where's your heart at? What do you want to do and where do you want to go from here? And so it just depends on the person, the relationship that we have with them and bringing them back. If she wants out and we've gotten her out and she goes back and then she calls and wants out again, we'll go get her again. We'll get them out every time.
Okay. Well, I guess because I guess expected sometimes that when they do go out relapse, I'll reach my hand out to you again. So because it's a possibility that could happen, right?
Well, yeah.
Relapse. Okay.
Jesus doesn't give up on us, right?
All right, all right, all right. I hear you. I hear you. Um, I guess one of my next questions would be, because I know a lot of mothers they go through this too. Do you think that some of these girls get into this because they repeating what their mom did, or do you think they have anything to do with it at all?
No, I mean, I think that, yeah, absolutely, that's a possibility. Maybe their mom turned tricks, and it's a family business. You know, yeah, I don't see how that couldn't happen.
Okay. Okay.
And then you also have the family selling them too.
Okay.
So there's that.
I'd have heard, and somebody recently just said this to me. They said that they knew somebody that they mom sold their children to the man to pay their debt. How many stories have you gotten that, or one of you girls told you that their mama actually sold them to pay her debt to the pimps or whatnot? How many stories have you got like that?
In almost 12 years, 150.
Oh,
So
wow.
pay their dope or sell them to their dope dealer to get the dope.
And when you get those that tell you the story that their mama sold them like that, and you are able to get them on the right track, um, do you try to get them reconnected with their mom so they can at least fix this problem that happened, or is this a situation? Because sometimes we get in a situation that's unfixable. So do you try to reunite them so they can fix it, or you just pretty much leave it up to them?
It's totally up to them.
Okay.
Where's your comfort level? Are you willing to forgive them? Do you want to go back to them? Do you want to try to make it work? And we just accommodate them for whatever works best for them. We always want to keep her safety and her frame of mind intact, and so we always look out for what's best for her. So one gal, she was able to do that. She made amends and was friends with her mom, and so that's all part of the the restoration process and learning how to forgive.
Absolutely.
And so yeah, that's up to them.
Okay. With that being said, it would lead me to ask you this right here with what you do and the Christian man that you have turned out to be. We use this term, I forgive you, but I won't forget. So I think a lot of us do forgive, but does that really work if you keep throwing up what you did? So let's say this young lady, use it as a scenario, her and her mom made amends, but every time her mom makes her mad, she throws that in her face. How do y'all look at that? Is there such thing as forgive and forget, or you keep throwing up, you ain't forgiven? How do we look at this?
So being a man of God, I think if you forgive someone from your heart, you give up the right to bring up that subject again. Now, I don't know about forgetting. You want to remember what happened.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you forgive someone, then you shouldn't bring it back up. And that's just where I land on that.
Okay. I agree with you on that. We going to forgive you, then it should not come up again, because the thing of it is we supposed to talk and amend that. Not necessarily sweep it on the rug, but, just amend it and say, hey, okay, we both did something wrong. I apologize for what I done. The mom says she apologized for what she done, or the dad or whoever, so let's start over. And I'm with you on that, it should not come back up again, because we already made the men say that we messed up. So thank you for answering that. I always wanted to know from a Christian standpoint, because people will say, I forgive you, but I won't forget. Well, how you forgiving if you keep throwing it in my face every time I get mad, but you won't throw it in my face when I'm doing something good? So what is it? Are you still holding it over my head, or what?
There's a couple of things there. Like, you can't hold on to the offense and the blessing.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to learn how to stay unoffendable.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, like, unforgiveness, like usually, like when we don't forgive someone, the person that offended us or hurt us usually isn't thinking about us and our feelings, and they're probably just moved on with their life. Mm-hmm. And so by holding that unforgiveness and that bitterness, it's like I like to say it's like drinking poison and expecting the other person to get sick. So
I like
it
that.
only
I like
affects
that.
us.
I like that.
And so when you forgive someone, you're not only setting them free, but you're setting yourself free from the offense.
Gotcha. Um, Man, that's deep right there. I like when you say that. It's like object poison. You want the other person to get sick or whatnot. So,
Yeah.
you say you've been doing this since 2009. Your organization started in 2009. Here we are in 2021. Doug, man, I can't express, salute to you, man. We need more people like you, especially in the men category, because you are a man speaking to these ladies. And that's one thing I do always say, if you got a positive male, they can speak to some of these ladies. You can turn them around sometimes because they see the positive male role model in you instead of what they used to seeing. They'd heard it all before, but somebody approached them different. They don't know how to take it at first. But once you show them something different, that this is a true meaning of love, then you are able to turn them around and they open their doors up over their hands up to receive the blessing that you're trying to give them, man. So, dude, thank you so much, man. Thank you for this.
Right on, man. Yeah, it's good to it's good to show the change that you want to see and to be a positive male role model in someone's life who's been trafficked or bought by men or been oppressed by men or hurt by men and had bad fathers. We often gauge God off of the father figure that we had in our life. And so, I think it's really important for me to show these women what a godly, loving man looks like. So, yeah, I take that very, very personal.
All
Thank
right.
you, man. Appreciate that.
No problem. Ladies and gentlemen, I am speaking to Dr. Doug Bennett. He's an anti-human trafficking guy. He's a Christian guy, and he's helping the people down there who has fell victim to human trafficking. At this time, Doug, you want to shout out the information where people can find you? They need to talk to you. You can take this time and do so now, man.
Absolutely. We have a YouTube channel. It's Magdalene Hope.
Okay.
Magdalene spelled like Mary Magdalene. Magdalene Hope. So Magdalene Hope YouTube channel, Magdalene Hope Facebook page, Magdalene.hope, I believe, Magdalene.hope on Instagram, and MagdaleneHope.org is our website. Check us out there.
All right. Do me a favor, you get a chance, when you get through with this, whenever you get a chance, email all that to me, and I'll put it in my description box, because somebody probably listening to you right now, and they may want to talk to you, and maybe you can guide them in a right direction. But before we go, how often do you travel, to help other people, or you just go where you need it?
Oh, I go where I'm needed. We just launched Magdalene Hope, Montana. So we'll be opening a safe house up in Montana later this year. I'm down in Mexico. We're opening a safe house about 4 hours south of the border. I have a coalition down there. We do outreach in Orange County around Disneyland and Knott's Berry Farm, where the girls are a little younger, where the men are going to buy a younger girl. But since the pandemic, with the parks being closed, that hasn't been a real problem, but there's still women being sold. So we do outreach there. We've done outreach in Detroit on 8 Mile.
Wow.
A really dark place. I like to go to the darkest place to shine the brightest light. We've done outreach in Las Vegas, and we're constantly in Tijuana in the red light district with the mafia and the cartel. So it gets a little dicey, but that's where the juices get flowing, and you can shine the brightest light for Jesus Christ in the darkest area. So that's where we go.
And I guess that's why the person asked that question earlier, does it not scare you to go around there? But you just said, I love to go to the darkest places to shine as bright as light. And I like that too, my man. I like that too.
Absolutely.
Doug, thank you so much for this time, bro. And we have to do this again, man. Thank you so much for your time. And brother, please keep doing what you're doing, man. Salute to you. Much respect. Much respect.
Brother Chris Orange, man. Hey, keep at it. Keep being a voice for the voiceless. And let's do this again. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Not a problem. Thank you, man. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Doug Bennett.
Thanks, brother.
All right. Wow. I'm really inspired. I'm really inspired right now. I'm feeling some type of way right now. It's sad and it's happiness at the same time. It's both of them. It's sad and happiness at the same time. Um, it's sad because these young girls is falling victim to this stuff, and that's the sad part about it. That you got a lot of people falling victim to it, and you, like he said, you know, it's kind of hard to decipher how much of the men fall into it because we keep hush hush, and I believe him on that. I believe him on that because a lot of us men, we try to put on the image and try not to be like, and don't want people to know what we've been through. So I pretty much get that, you know. Um, like I said, it was a couple of times in there. As he was talking, I didn't want to cry. I did, man, because it just said, I don't wish that on nobody. I don't wish that on nobody, man. That's something that's just real bad to go through. Real bad to go through. And you got men like this man right here who opened a foundation and he's going nationwide. Nationwide. How about that? And I really hope he opens some down here in Memphis because we got a lot of young ladies down here in Memphis that can use that help. We got a lot of them down here in Memphis that can use that help. You know, so wow. I feel good. I feel good. I'm glad this happened. I feel good, and I would definitely will bring them back. And I told y'all when I want to interview, I go get it. I go get it. But don't you wish that he can some of his light can shine on, find them two boys missing? Now that would be awesome. If he can find these boys, shine his light and find these boys, that would be awesome. That would be so awesome, so fucking amazing. And I'm glad he did his research before he came on. That's pretty dope when he said that. I feel good he said that. Ladies, please be careful who you bring around your children. Please be careful who you bring around your children. Because everybody who come around your children is not good people. And I said it's the same thing with the men, you know, start bringing a lot of women around your kids because all women ain't good people as well. And we see that. With all these stories going on, we see that. You know, everybody's not there for it's not there for you to see you do good. They want to see you fail before you do good. Amen. They want to see you fail before you do good. Trust me, I deal with it all the time with this YouTube shit. With all the dumb shit that come in my comment section, I deal with it all the damn time. These dumb stupid motherfuckers who come in my comment section, Jesus Christ. I'm like, damn, you think I'm doing something good, but y'all still complaining. What the fuck? And I told y'all, you don't need drama for your channel to grow. Your channel can grow without the drama. It can grow. It'll grow a little slower, but it can grow though without the drama. And I see my channel. I looked at my analytics the other day, and my channel is soaring now. It's soaring now, and I appreciate y'all because it won't be if it wasn't for y'all. It won't be no Chris Thorne show. All right. It won't be no Chris Thorne show. Anyway, salute to all y'all. Salute to Doug. I really enjoyed this. And damn, I meant to ask him, could he get one of the survivors come on the show? Speaking of a survivor, I got a YouTube friend who I've been knowing for a while. We both been following each other. She actually went to that hotel where they did their bust at. And she was sending me all kind of voice messages through Instagram yesterday. And I said, do you want to come and talk about it? She said, let me see what day I can. And the stuff she was telling me, she almost got caught up in it. They tried to put her up in that shit. You know, and I want to come talk about it. But I meant to ask him, can he get a survivor to come talk about it? Or whatnot. So, hey, Britt, what's going on? And let me explain this about the rewinding. Here's why I cut it off. And I started cutting it off. And I think Dog Paul putting my links in there. So if y'all want to donate, that's totally up to y'all. You know, my channel not money. I mean, it's edible for monetization, but I don't cut it on because this is hobby. But if you want to send some, Dog Paul got the links up in there. The reason I cut the rewind off is because, one, you know, the flagging. Some people can go rewind the show and hear something that they want to hear, and then start trying to flag your show. I mean, they can do that anyway when they watch the replay, but, you know, if they don't fuck with you 9 out of 10, they're not going to listen to the replay. So that's one reason why I cut the rewind off. Second reason why I cut the rewind off, because it get annoying sometimes when you in the middle of the show and people come in and talk about what you talking about. They get annoying sometimes. And then you come in for something I said down there 15 minutes earlier, and we'd be like, what are you talking about? And that's how a lot of people end up getting blocked, because you coming in 15 minutes late, coming on something that I said 15 minutes earlier. They get annoying sometimes because it kind of throws the show off a little bit. So that's why I stopped the rewind button, you know, because I don't want to deal with that. Just go with the flow, and whatever you miss, you go back and watch the replay. That's it. So you can't come in no more talk about what we're talking about, which you shouldn't be asking it in the first place if you see the title. You shouldn't be asking it in the first place. Now, I get if you ask who the guest is. I get that part. But when you come in and talk about what we're talking about, and that title right there is big as day, that's fucking annoying. It is. It's very annoying. And then you come in by some shit I said 15 to 20 minutes earlier. Come on now. Stop that shit. Stop that shit. There you go right there, guys. They go to the YouTube channel, Magdalene Hope. You know, you said read his comment. Yeah, he said, thank you for having me. And yes, I believe I can get a survivor. Come on. Oh, awesome. Awesome. Well, email me, Doug. Thank you so much. Thank you, Joanna. I would love to have a survivor come on the show. Thank you. Thank you. All right. All right. Y'all do me a favor before we get out of here. If you rock with me and you rock with the message I'm trying to push, let me see you put in hashtag Children Lives Matter, or you could shorten it up by putting in hashtag CLM. Amen. Amen. That's what I'm talking about. 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 All right, guys. I'm your man, Chris Thorne. Thank y'all for joining. I got to get out of here and get to work. And catch y'all next time. Thank you so much. Doug, again, much respect to you, bro. Much respect to you. Peace out.